Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me at 339-1670. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for properties to buy, you can also contact me. If you have your property and you want money borrow and you're willing to let your property stand security for you, feel free to contact me at 339-1670, or you can call my office at 238-6716. I want to say a special good night to you viewers of Real Talk in Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean, and on our page, the Real Talk page. Remember viewers, we bring you up to date of what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago on our page. Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like and share the page, and we will keep you updated on every incident that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, it was a holiday yesterday. Nevertheless, we are on tonight. Feel free to call in our studio, our show live, 238-6716. Tell your friends and your family that Real Talk is going live. We are on Synergy TV, on Synergy Network, live from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. with a rerun the following day from 10 a.m. So if you're watching it daylight, as a rerun is what you are seeing. Now viewers, remember we have our Real Talk drive on. Feel free to contribute. Now let me explain something to you. For the last 2 years I've been on the air, I've never asked anybody for anything. And I am very bold about that. Very. Now, I need to raise at least $150,000 to see about 200 families. That is 200 homes. Now, if 100 people decide to donate $1,000 each, that will be $100,000. So if 150 people, which we live in a population of 1.4 million people, and there is a lot of business throughout Trinidad. So if one person could donate $1,000, it would be real good. Now, I want you to understand something. That money ain't going inside pocket. So if you're thinking about you donating that money, and Saieed might put it in the pocket, nah, think again. Think again. Now, what you're doing is that you're planting a seed. For those of you who just go to church, and you're going to the temple, and you're going to the mosque, and you know the pastor or the imam will tell you, well, plant a seed. Now, you're planting a seed, but you don't know where it's going. That I could tell you. I'm not being biased, you know. But you're planting a seed, and you don't know where it's going. So I could tell you, if you plant that $1,000, it's going to feed a family. That is where the money is going. It's going to feed a family. It ain't coming inside pocket. So you're definitely sure that it ain't going in nobody's pocket. Except the grocery man who will be giving me grocery wholesale to go and donate. So viewers, feel free to call. Now, when you're lineman, you just spend more than $1,000. I could tell you that. You just spend more than $1,000, and I shouldn't have it. You just spend more than $1,000. So, it's about giving back. It's about giving back to the citizens, to the poor, the less fortunate in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. I know what it is not to have, and I know what it is to have. To have is to put Real Talk on the air without asking one individual for a cent. Not to have is trying to give to those who do not have. Let me tell you something. You could be a multi-millionaire today, and you will get one sickness, and every single cent you have, you spend it by doctors, traveling abroad to do this and to do that and to do the next. And you know what? Your money will finish down to naught in the bank. And you're still sick. Ask me, I could tell you. I just see people on a daily basis with these things. So I know about it. So viewers, feel free to contribute 2386716 or 3391670 and pledge a contribution. It take one inside pocket. I ain't begging all you to buy a car, you know. I ain't begging all you to fund the program. That's why I could boast like this. I'm not begging all you to fund the program. I'm begging all you to contribute to help the poor. That is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. It's not for me, it's for the poor. It's for the poor. And you yourself, you never know when you could reach in a situation. Because I have seen big businessmen. And let me tell you something. Don't ever use the terms and say, man, I'm a multi-millionaire. Nothing can happen to me. I can't get poor. Let me tell you something. Think again. Think again. Let me use a little instance. They say Dole Shady. Well, they say he was a alleged drug man. He had buildings all over the place. Millions. And when they got him, not 1 cent, not one single cent out of all the money he had. And everybody know Dole Shady. Everybody. Not 1 single cent he had could have saved him. So it's something for you to think about. You're a Christian, you believe in God, not a problem. You're a Muslim, you believe in Allah, not a problem. You're a Hindu, you're going to a temple and praying, not a problem. But give so you may get back. So I am asking you now, 150 people donate $1,000 each. We're making up the money, you know. Just like that. Just like that. So I hope this rests in your mind and in your heart. Don't ever feel that you would end up a pauper because it could happen to you. Because I've dealt with businessmen who come to me. Said we was on top. We have Benz, we have Range Rover, we have a house, 2.3 million, $3 million house. And they couldn't even buy a Cortina at 1,200 when they reach the underneath of the ladder. Said self up them back. I light my light, I say my prayers, I do my thing, and they back up. So if you have, give. And I'm bold about it because I know how miracles has happened. So as we start off tonight, viewers, this whole week, I will be saying the same thing. I will be saying the same thing. Let me tell you something. In Trinidad, we know gun runners, we know drug dealers, we know drug pushers. Everybody know them, the police know them, the minister know them. And still we cannot fix crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Still. So tonight now, I'm changing my talk. I'm changing my talk. You know why? Listen to this. They have a relief grant. The minister said 80,000 people would benefit from the NIS. If you have NIS, you pay an NIS, you could fill out your application, your A form or your B form, and you will get help. But that is 80,000 people. What about the rest? Where the rest going? Where the rest getting from? It's 3 weeks now. 3 weeks now since they say it's lockdown. Well, semi-lockdown. Where the poor man getting food? Milk and Pampers running out. Call a good night.
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, you make a very valid point.
You're live on Real Talk, go right ahead.
You make a very valid point. And I was just tonight thinking about just what you're talking about it. With, you know, it's our poor people and it's our who the people Pampers running out, food running out. You understand? But what I watching is like the 80 card, wherever they give out, I don't like they're choosing the wrong set of people. Okay, seeing some people really need this thing card and them not getting it, and you hear it, the card of them done and you go on and you don't know where it disappears.
Thank you, my friend. But I hope you can come tomorrow and make a little $1,000 donation, you know. I'll big up your name on TV. You see, tonight I am asking all my friends and business associates. I'm asking, watch me. I bowl about it, you know. I asking the drug runner. I asking the drug lord too, you know. You know why I'm doing that? I've been stink tonight. You know why? In every community, the police know the drug man. The citizens in the community know the drug man. The gun runners are being bold about it tonight, and who vexed, that is all your business. That is all your business. I'm asking tonight, you know why I'm being so bold? 3 weeks now we're in our lockdown. The single mothers can't go to work. The father who had to pay maintenance, he had to stay home. He have to stay home. He have maintenance to pay. How he paying it? We have medications. The people who using medications, is a rush to get a medication in the pharmacy. It is a rush. So tonight I'm being bold and I'm asking everybody. Asking everybody. Let me tell you something. Over the weekend, I had about 500 or 600 calls. Every 2 minutes, my phone was ringing. Every 2 minutes, my phone was ringing. Saeed, we could get a little contribution to buy so and so. Saeed, we could get a little food. Saeed, my 2-year-old or my 6 months old, I have no pampers, we have no milk, assist we. So I've been bold about it tonight. If I had the drugs man in the community, I asking all for help. Because the police know all here too. The community know all here. So I been bold about it. Some people might think, oh, Saeed asking the drug man. Yes. Asking for help, not for me, you know. Not to put money in my pocket, you know. But for the poor citizen in Trinidad and Tobago. A lady called me today. She sent a voice note. You see what I'm doing here? Asking for the poor in Trinidad. In Tobago, she said, Saeed, it have none of that going on in Tobago. None. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
I would like you to know that Ministry of Social Development is not doing their mathematics properly because when a person is getting $2,000 monthly, how could they send $400 now? They are not doing their maths.
Thank you.
And I want the population to know that they have to start checking their dollars. They are not doing their work. Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you, my dear. It have plenty of people who called me. They had a pay slip where they make 200 contributions. When they go to NIS now, they see 100 contributions. Where the next 100 gone? Where the next 100 gone? The officials in the army are talking to all you. All I need to update all your books. I tell a big man thing. All you need to update all your books. So I'm begging from the drug man to the gun man. People can say, oh, Sai doing spirit work. And he begging from the drug man. I'm begging to donate. I'm begging to donate. For the poor people. Not to put in side pocket, you know. Not to put in side pocket. Because the 2 years I've been on TV, I never asked nobody for 1 single cent. Hey, I need an ad. Hey, I want somebody to advertise on my product. No, I did it on my own by the grace of God. And I could boast about it. Well, just tell if you like how the show going and you want to run an ad, not a problem. Other than that, don't tell me how to speak. Because I will take back your money and I will throw it in your face. That's how bold I am. You do business who in who and who is in power. So, as we start off tonight, caller, you there? Good night.
Yeah, good night here.
Go right ahead. Caller, you there?
Saieed Ali.
Go right ahead, you're live on TV.
Hello, good night.
Yes? You could probably try back. So as we start off tonight, patients at the Sandy Grande Convalescent Center are monitored twice a day. This is according to the Acting County Medical Officer of Health for the St. Andrew, St. Davis County, Dr. Alana Comina Bess. She said there was a staff that had agreed to stay in at the center during the time that the patient are staying there.
At the moment, we have nurses, a cleaner, and a groundsman at the facility.
Dr. Comina Bess said doctors are on standby in case of an emergency. Now, viewers, I have a packed show tonight, you know. My staff really worked today. But I want to raise funds, and I really need all your help. Yesterday, I was on social media. You know, I just hardly go live. You know, who knows Saeed? The only thing you see about Saeed is I repeated the show on Facebook, you know. Well, on Facebook. Other than that, I don't go live at all. But Sunday, me and Ren Gopi Singh, he and his wife, they are the owner of Penal Debe Community Organization. Oh God, guys, I forgot to give all the picture. Now Sunday, me and him, we got together and we cooked for 3 stations. The Barapore station, the Penal station, and the Debe police post. I just forgot to send the guys them the picture, but who were watching my live on Sunday would have seen it. We cooked for the station. Why? They are frontline workers. And they were happy to see us. They were glad to know, well, hey, it have somebody from Trinidad and Tobago coming to thank us for standing up. So me and Ren Gopi Singh, he is the founder of Penal Debe Community Organization. He and his wife and I, we did that. I must say good night to his father-in-law and mother-in-law also. So as we move on tonight, viewers, feel free to call in and contribute. I tell you tonight I have a packed show, you know. But I more wanted to base on you all calling and giving. You're sending it to me. I buy it wholesale and I doubling what you sending. I doubling what you sending so more families could get. So if you're a drug man and you're watching the picture, feel free. Send a little 2,000 or 3,000. There's a gun runner, we taking that money and all. Yeah. I do business, who say what? At the end of the day, when the less fortunate in Trinidad don't have food, you know what they're going to do? They're going to break in the neighbor's house. They're going to thief the duck. They're going to rob the neighbor, and waiting they're robbing the neighbor for? Food. So we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to prevent that. It have almost 4 million people in Trinidad. And 150 people cannot donate $1,000 each. Navin, it's sad. It's sad if this is the state we're living in. Carnival, you're spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a costume. You're taking a loan to buy a costume. And when you're going to work now, you can say, oh, me I had to work and I had a loan to pay, but yes, so then when they're jumping up for 2 days. I'm telling you. So the show this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is about that. So let's hope before this month finish, we could raise the $150,000 to give back to the poor. We're not on Carnival. You understand? But it's about giving back to the poor. Call her good night. She gone? Photos circulating on social media showing broken doors, bugs, dirty bathrooms, among other things. However, That's concerning the home up in Sandy Grande, in Brooklyn, in Sandy Grande. However, in an almost immediate response on Monday, the Eastern Regional Health Authority, now I have some serious questions for them. I want to know if them hired any minister. Eastern Regional Health Authority released photos of the facility which it claims was in current state of the facility. Now what you are seeing on screen is the old photos that was circulating on social media. But pop the green curtain. Now what you're seeing there, Eastern Regional Health Authority released that photo stating that that is the condition of the place. But let me tell you something. Tomorrow morning I'm getting up early. COVID or no COVID, I'm going up myself. I'm going up myself and see the site. Out of my busy schedule, I'm making time tomorrow. Because let me tell you something. I want to ask. Now, the Minister of Health released a statement saying that he wanted a report within 24 hours. What procurement was in place for the Davis home to be chosen? Was there any tender? Did the minister aware of procurements about tenders concerning to the Davis place in Brooklyn? If you all noticed, about 2 or 3 weeks back, the Brooklyn settlement had a protest. They want no COVID-19 patient in their area. Now I understand that the Davis home was closed for a year. I understand they have strong ties with the present administration. I ain't afraid of no partner. But let me tell you something. How come the Eastern Regional Health Authority and the owner of that home managed to get that home where statements were released that they are paying $105,000 for that home? Now listen to this. The minister said in Couva, we have 250 beds. We have Augustus Long, we have Arima, we have Mount Hope, we have San Fernando hospitals. The minister said we have almost acquired 300 beds. But yet, let me tell you something. Yet, guys, come back to me. Yet, you're taking private homes to house patients and you have to pay tax money to the owner of these homes. Now, let me tell you something. And where I want to find out, does the Eastern Regional Health Authority have the authorization to pick the Davis home for the step-down facility of the COVID-19 patients? Are they paying the money? Is there fraud taking place somewhere? Because the Minister of Health wants to know and he's launching an investigation into it. For him to say that, he wants a report from them, which means he didn't know. It's two things. It's either he knew or he didn't know. So I want to know, was there any tender for that home? And if, it's not if, you put them there already, so you went against the words of the citizens in the area. Because all they come out and say on media briefing, all they're finding places safe and secure and not hazardous to the community. All they went against the words of the citizens in that community and all they carry them there. Does the Eastern Regional Health Authority and Mr. Davis, the owner of the home, went behind the the minister is back? I know, I'm just asking something. Because I can tell you something, if the Minister of Health come out and lie on TV, that's a stain for your rest of your life, you know. That's what I'm telling all you. Listen to this, eh? Arrangement for the use of a former home for the aged Sandy Grandy for recovering COVID-19 patient were done between Eastern Regional Health Authority and the owner of the home. So, according to this report, the minister knows nothing. So where is the tendering? Where is the procurement? Why not leave them in the 250-bed facility that is on the highway, that is in Couva? You move them from one block and you carry them to the next block until, or let's say all testing them two times and 3 times to make sure. Leave them there. You don't have to pay money. It have doctors checking them, and you don't have to pay for cleaners because it already have cleaners in the hospital. All are wasting taxpayers' money. I get stinking vexed when I hear that. And what would top it off more? What would top it off more is that the Eastern Regional Health Authority and the owners came up with this idea. So who funding the home? Who is funding the home? Who is paying allegedly $150,000 to the homeowner? If the minister say he want a report on that, which means he did not know, is the Eastern Health Authority funding the home? Let we hope it's not taxpayers' money. Let we hope it's not fraud. Because somebody had to get charged. Somebody had to get charged. Somebody had to tender. It had to have tenders. So Balandra is 85,000. People going on a cruise ship. They're stranded outside. We government bring them in. We government paying $85,000 to house them there, while we have 33 of them in Barbados. All they cannot bring them. I tell you, watch me. Tonight is a fiery night, you know. It's a fiery night tonight, you know. According to Stuart Young, they have to come in on their own. We have a VP from Venezuela came into Trinidad. Caribbean Airline, Cal, going to the government to ask them for, oh God, forget the figure, some 300 something million US to stay afloat. To stay afloat. But you know what? You know what's the sad part about it? It's taxpaying money now. Have to pay that airline to stay afloat. But all can't provide a plane to go Barbados and pick up with 33 individuals and bring them down here to Trinidad. How much money they spend behind the airline already? How much money did they spend behind the airline already? Listen to this, eh? Listen to this, eh? A newspaper report today stated that the use of the home was costing taxpayers approximately $105,000 a month, inclusive of utilities and insurance charge. What is insurance charge? What is insurance charge? However, when the question was raised, this is what the minister had to say.
I don't know, Mr. Davis. That arrangement was done between ERHA. So I suppose all that will come out in the report.
So I want to know now, is the ERHA, are they the ones that paying the allegedly 105,000? And where is ERHA getting funding? Didn't they fall under the Ministry of Health? So if the minister now can make a statement like that, What's going on there? Well, let we hope it's not fraud, because I will be clapping on TV and thanking Fraud Squad for a job well done. Let me tell you something. Yes, we in COVID-19. They did almost 1,200 tests. If you do 1,200 tests and you're doing 2 testing on 1 person, you get 600 people. By tomorrow, I would know the exact figures of how much individual they have tested in Trinidad. Tell her, I stink now, you know. I stink now, you know, because too much of madness going on. Too much of madness going on. Oh, by the way, I want to ask Minister Cox, if I have to send a representative, to ask all the questions, what kind of qualification do I need? Because there's a back and forth throwing missiles between 2 individuals. Let me tell you something. Real Talk is registered. You get a picture? Let me tell you something. You have a bacchanal going on with Mr. Devan Maharaj and other, oh God, I forget the other individual name. Because Minister Cox saying she was not aware that Devan sent a letter to join the media briefing. Zoom it up to the sky. Now, viewers, let me tell you something. If all I could see on the screen closely, bring it up close to the screen so the people could see. Right. Now, I want to understand something. These are my companies. As long as you go on the Ministry of Legal Affairs and you search up Real Talk, you will see Real Talk Production. Scroll up. Not entertainment. You will see Real Talk Production, you will see Real Talk Security, and you will see Real Talk Group of Companies. They belong to me. So I'm asking Donna Cox tonight, the Minister of Communication, anybody go up on the ministry site and search to see if Real Talk Production registered. Real Talk with Saieed Ali is registered under Real Talk Production. I am a media company. Right? There's a confusion going on back and forth with who's registered and who's not registered. And so I want to know now, if I have to send a representative to ask questions in a virtual media conferencing, what qualifications or what recommendations or requirements do I need to have? Because according to Devan Maharaj, he sent a letter. He sent a letter. Now, he did say he will be taking legal actions. So I want to know now, me being a media house now, have a show on TV, I registered, I do what I'm supposed to do. What requirements do I need now to send a representative from Real Talk Studios to ask all the questions? I stink, you know. I tell you, watch me, this wrong, I stink. Because too much of foolishness happening. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Saieed Ali.
Yes?
It's our first time caller.
Welcome to Real Talk, my friend.
I have 4 kids, but as I'm self-employed, and you know the government say anytime you have no box lunch, you ain't getting nothing.
I understand what you're saying.
So I don't know what my position now because I have 4 kids and I have nothing right now to work on. Only a little shop home and that is it.
Call me tomorrow and we could talk. Thank you, my friend. Now, didn't the government say we're getting masks? They have over how much? 1 million masks? Listen this now. Listen this now. The Insurance Property Development Company Limited, that is NIPDEC, is inviting tenders from interested individual, sole traders and firm to manufacture cloth masks to combine the spread of COVID-19. Where the million masks on? Huh? 3 weeks. 3 weeks down into COVID-19. NIPDEC released a tender form. Put it up on TV. Asking interested individuals to tender now to supply masks. We going forward or we going backward? Are we going forward or are we going backward? When I was saying, before the whole incident happened, before COVID-19 hit Trinidad and Tobago, what do we have in place? Look the form. What do we have in place to deal with COVID-19, coronavirus, if it attacks citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? I'll bring in 68 individuals who was on a cruise. You're paying $85,000 a month to house them. $85,000 tax-paying dollars. Come back to me. I'll tell you, I stink now because too much of madness going on. I have a video to bust with all just now, but hold on. The fire building, $85,000 a month for people who went on a cruise. Is them pay for it. Them pay for it. Just like the minister said, we choose to venture outside. And I hear the health minister now swing and talk. Since January, we were telling all you less traveling. Watch out, all you traveling. Only for all you had to travel. But when over 40,000 of them come in Trinidad for Carnival, you didn't studying. You was not studying who traveling and how they're traveling and when they're traveling. One thing I don't like is clowns. 1 minute, all I do wear mask. Mask will get you sick. The next week, all I make sure and wear all your mask. It is to prevent all from getting COVID-19, even right inside your house. So what are we doing? We wearing the mask or we not wearing the mask? Which one is important? Because Trinidad and Tobago have educated people. So what is the real thing to do? Because 1 week, don't wear the mask. The mask will get you sick. Oh God. And if you're sick, you're going to spread it. The next week now, in the same tongue you have in your mouth now, all you wear the mask, I'll make sure and wait inside all your house too. And when you're stepping out your house, wear the mask. So what are we, puppet and strings? You say you're supplying the nation with masks. Now NIPDEC released a tender form now for firms and sole traders and manufacturing company now to tender to supply masks now. So where are we heading? Watch where this is real talk, You ain't getting nowhere else but on real talk. I want to let you listen carefully. Citizens are urged to use the public health system. This comes from Minister Terence Dialsing. He said those patients who suffer from chronic disease need to keep up with the clinic appointments. Minister Dialsing assured that the COVID-19 will not affect the regular healthcare system since we have a parallel system in place.
The messages, our health system is there for the population who are not affected by COVID-19. A lot of focus has been placed on COVID-19 facilities, but I just thought that today would be a good opportunity to reassure the public to take advantage of our normal healthcare deliveries.
Now, viewers, let's move on to Colin Mimbud. What's the Colin Mimbud video? Clip 1.
I beg to move the following motion standing in my name. Whereas it is provided by Section 3.1 of the Development Loans Act that the government is authorized for the purpose of financing general development in Trinidad and Tobago, A. B. repayment of borrowings effected for such general development, or C, repayment of borrowings effected for general development, 1, by a statutory authority within the meaning of the Statutory Authorities Act, 2, by an enterprise that is controlled by or in behalf of the state, or 3, by the University of the West Indies, to borrow from time to time money externally or internally in a sum or sums not exceeding in the aggregate $45,000 million in the currency of Trinidad and Tobago. And whereas it is also provided in the said section 3.1 that thereafter such sum in such currency may from time to time be specified by resolution passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives. And whereas it is necessary for the government to borrow further sums of money for the purposes stated in the said section, be it resolved that for the purposes stated in the said section, the government is hereby authorized to borrow money externally or internally in a further sum or in further sums not exceeding in the aggregate $10,000 million in the currency of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, viewers, for you to understand that, I wanted you all to listen here what he have to say. Now, let me break it down for you. The government is putting things in place to receive money. My question to the government, is the government expecting to receive a loan of $100 million US from a CAFA Development Bank of Latin America? That will amount to almost $1 billion. What I understand is that 50 million will go for sustaining the economy, and the other 50 million, US I'm talking about, will go to fighting the COVID-19 pandemic in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay? That's almost $1 billion from CAF Development Bank of Latin America. Okay? Keep that in mind. $1 billion, close to $1 billion. Now run with clip 2.
The fund to deal with the present situation. No longer, we can't wait a year. The amount of people that will die during that year that we wait. We can't wait until next year to withdraw from this fund. And anybody who says different is not a serious person. They are a joker if they say different. So we are changing it so that withdrawals may be made from the fund under 3 emergency situations. 1, a disaster area is declared under the Disaster Measures Act. 2, a dangerous infectious disease is declared under the Public Health Ordinance. Or 3, there is or likely to be a precipitous decline in budgeted revenues which are based on the production or price of crude oil or natural gas. We have already met 2 of these conditions. We have a precipitous drop in the price of crude oil and natural gas by 50%, and we have a global pandemic. So in these circumstances, we feel any government, if faced with this in the future and now, must have access to our savings account, because the HSF is really just a savings account. It's for a rainy day, and we are in a thunderstorm right now. In fact, we're in a hurricane. We're in a hurricane, a deluge, a tsunami that will drown us unless we deal with this, Madam Speaker. So our intention is to change the method for withdrawals so that if any one of these 3 things occur, a withdrawal can be made up to a maximum of $1.5 billion US.
So now, my question to the Minister of Finance, did you go into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund already? Since you said for yourself that we are getting 3 big banks on the outside to fund us during this, the COVID-19 breakdown in Trinidad and Tobago. So here now, viewers, you saw it for yourself and you heard it from the mouth of the Minister of Finance that they have changed their restructuring. They have changed their restructuring, and they have made it easy now to go into the HSF funds where there's billions to take. I want to know who authorized the alleged $105,000 for the Davids home in Brooklyn in Sandy Grande. And if there was a fraud, just saying, because I showed you where the minister said he knows nothing. He don't know Davis. He don't know Davis. Don't feel I have COVID-19, eh? When my throat get dry, I just start to cough. Because the Sahara does just do my bad. Not COVID-19. So, if the minister said he don't know Davis, and the Eastern Regional Health Authority and the homeowner made this arrangement, did they go in front of the minister back, or did they go behind his back? I'm just asking something, you know. Who gave the authorization for that figure, and how many tenders were there? That remain unsolved. We have another thing. The 4 security companies. The minister said that they had to acquire 4 companies. Okay, no problem. You start it, you stop it. Now, if you breach the contract, how much money did you pay for breaching a contract? If they had the proper procedure in place, did they tender for these, did these security companies tender for this project they were about to start? That remained unsolved because Minister Young never came out and tell the public how much they had to pay. This is real talk, you know. I stink, you know. When I read it, especially when money spending and the poor people suffering. 3 weeks down the road, nobody received a grant yet. Caller, good night.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Go right ahead.
Said,
yes?
When this government came into power, the first budget they read out, this same Imbert was boasting. That's how they have changed around the economy. They've seen growth. They've seen prosperity.
Yes.
The country is booming. I want to know in the 5 years that they were that they are in government, if they had put 1 single cent into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, with all this growth and boom and the projection and the way they guide the country and take it out of the it was in, how much money they put into the Stabilization and Heritage Fund with all this bloom and gloom that they was having. These people, I don't know when people in this country don't wake up and realize that is a fantasy world they are trying to paint and have we living in. And when the reality hit, I don't know how many people in this country will be able to survive. And you know the sad thing about it? They would not be in government. It's somebody else would have to steer this country back to it with its feet. And it will be really, really hard times in the future that we are facing because of these lying, nasty, stinking...
No, caller. I won't tolerate that. It have a different way you could use it. I won't tolerate that. So viewers, they're expecting close to $1 billion from a CAF development bank in Latin America. In Latin America. 50 million by 50 million. That's close to $1 billion. Now we are sure you know where they make an arrangement now to go down into the HSF. So I want to know about these 3 and 4 big banks that were assisting The finance minister now, did they disappear? Did they disappear? You tell me we getting mask. NIPDEC release a form for interested persons to tender. Is there a fraud taking place with the 105,000 that go into Davis' home? I want to know, because the minister says he knows nothing about that and he don't know who's Davis. Who gave the authorization for the homeowner to collect $105 allegedly $1,000 per month? Huh? That's what I want to know. Because I'm following COVID-19 closely, you know. I'm following it closely for Trinidad and Tobago citizens who ain't know about it. I am following it closely. Remember I was telling earlier, last week, why the government don't put, oh God, how you call the machine again? The CPR machine, I was thinking, what was the name of the machine again? The PCR machine. Remember when I was telling them, put the PCR machine, it's in health centers throughout Trinidad, and that's where you all will be able to know which community have it. You know what they're doing now? All of a sudden now, they have PCR machines. Where it come from? Overnight, they just drop in the sky and reach in the country. And when they're doing it, they're starting to place it throughout Trinidad and Tobago now. When I just talk with power, I just talk with authority, because he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall be covered under the shadows of the Almighty. I'm talking with power. Because when them upstairs, I talk about up in the clouds, when they say, Saieed, open your mouth and say so and so and so, and watch things happen, that's what it do. I love Moses' story, you know. I love Moses' story. Moses was never promised the promised land. His calling was to keep the people in the wilderness for 40 years so God could show the Israelites who is God. But Moses was not promised the promised land. He watched everybody moved in to the promised land, where he remained back in the wilderness. So with all this money, with all this money coming into effect, where are we today? Where are we today? I decide to get on stink on my show now. Because you're making plans. Let me tell you something. I am not about UNC. I am not about PNM. I am not about NJAC. I am not about PPP or PE or whatever you call it. I am an independent individual. I'm not affiliated with no party. I get my facts straight, I get my sources, I get my calls, I do my research, and I bust my ass. If you don't like it, that's your business. I stay within my boundaries. So when you come from the north, south, east, or west, I will be able to say, Lord, I have an enemy on the north, deal with it. I have one coming from the east, and I want you to deal with it. So I want to know now, who gave the power to the Eastern Regional Health Authority to authorize $105,000 for the home in Brooklyn, when we have, according to the health ministers, hospitals right around Trinidad with bed here and bed there and bed elsewhere? Why are we paying for homes in Trinidad when we have beds? Eh? I hear the leader of the administration fly out for medical purpose. I hear Carl want to go to the Minister of Finance for budgetary allocations to make sure we stay afloat. Or they're paying $85,000 for a house, which a member, someone affiliated with a party, a present administration, keep a cruise. The individual pay and went to the cruise. Just like the individuals in Barbados, they pay and they went. But all they see it fit. All they see it fit to pay for a house, $85,000. But all they cannot send an airline to bring 33 people in Trinidad and Tobago. And I am definitely sure that it ain't costing $85,000 a month to bring them in Trinidad. You know why I get on so stink and dirty? Because I'm watching money coming out and going where it's not supposed to go. Who paying for the hospital? Who paying for service in the hospital? We the citizen paying tax. All they're taking we tax money and giving a man in Balandra, and now allegedly giving a man in Brooklyn with the Davis home. While we have, according to the health minister, hundreds of beds put down in hospital, why we can't use it for step down? If you send, just saying, if you send 30 of them in Brooklyn, in Grandy, and we have about 20 of them in the hospital in Cuba, just saying, what happened to the next 230 beds? A simple maths. We have a big hospital. You're using the front for COVID-19, you're using the back for the step down. Common sense is a serious thing. Not everybody have it, you know. But you see, when you have access to free money, you're doing what you want. You're doing what you want. You see the finance minister change up eating now and they give them access to go in the HSF while they're waiting to receive close to $1 billion US. And we have 3 big. On top of that, they have 3 big banks want to assist Trinidad. And where all that money going? Where is all that money going? And after the 80,000 who pay in NIS, who gets in money again? It's a little maths. It's a little maths. Me against the government with helping, you know. I am not against them. But you see, when you hear you have to pay private homes, when I know we have bed, with you, your mouth come out and tell we allocated bed and we have it, it's a different story, boy. I pay in tax, just like anybody else. Viewers, we have about 1 minute left on our show tonight. Now, like I said, starting up my show, if the gunman wants to donate money, if the drug man wants to donate money, 339-1670, 238-6716. I will say it on my show. Donate to Saieed for the less fortunate. All I give him my money to put in my pocket. 2 years I've been sustaining myself and workers. And equipment and everything. So if we have 150 people donate $1,000 each, that's $150,000, and we go into 200 homes to see about them. How hard that is. How hard it is. And when something happens now, let me go buy Saieed. Saieed will help you out. And you have $1 million in the bank there, and you want to spend $1,000 now to help Saieed feed the poor. I just see it every day. I just see it every day. So feel free. 339-1670, that is my cell phone, or call my office phone at 238-6716. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight. Our rerun of this program is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Feel free to contribute, not for me. Give a little charity. They say charity begins at home, where God will bless you even a little more. Let me tell you something. Before Synergy cut me off, give me 30 seconds. A lady come by me. She said, Saieed, she came with $1,000. This happened last year. She said, Saieed, I want to plant a seed. I said, no problem. She said, Saieed, I'm planting $1,500 the lady gave me. She said, Saieed, I'm planting a seed on behalf of so-and-so. I said, Auntie, give me a hand. I held her hand and I said, Illa anta ba illa killa hasuntu uruba illa. Because you give willingly and free-heartedly, I have the power and the authority from God to open a door for you. And I said that prayer. Let me tell you something. The lady got access to $1.5 million. She came back and she walked with an envelope. She said, Saeed, hold this. She said, hold that. And from that, I started off Real Talk. 1,500 she planted. And she gained access in less than 14 days to $1.5 million. And she came back with an envelope and said, Saeed, I want you to hold that. And this is where Real Talk was birthed. It's the power of your prayer. It's the power of faith. For me, I believe in you. Viewers, enjoy the night and be safe until I see you tomorrow night again. Give free and give willingly. Until we meet again, good night.